Step one, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Crypto, where we turn your early hours in the morning into your edge and financial freedom. Today, I've got a few headlines. One of them is about a new hedge fund that is forming. I might be buying just because I like the strategy. He's going off of Warren Buffett's strategy, and he's made quite a bit of money following the Warren Buffett strategy. I've also got that headline on no taxes on tips in America. We will get to that in just a second, though. Let's get you prepped for some success first. I've got that stock heat map pulled up like always, and we're seeing a little bit of buying pressure stepping on in this morning. We do have Apple sitting down at 2.31% off of its close. Looking to the upside this morning, 0.31%. We've got Nvidia sitting down at 1.92, getting some buying pressure in the morning, up 0.59%. Got Berkshire Hathaway sitting down 0.34%, looking quite neutral this morning, up 0.04. We've got Amazon down 1.45%, and in the morning, seeing that buying pressure as well, up 0.36. We've got Eli Lilly sitting down 2.95%, and in the pre-market, seeing that buying pressure as well, up 0.72. We've got ExxonMobil sitting down 1.23%, looking quite neutral this morning though, up 0.03. We've got Tesla sitting down 2.68%, also seeing that buying pressure stepping on in this morning, up 0.58. We've got PNG sitting in that neutral range, down 0.13 and down 0.2% this morning. We've got Microsoft sitting down 1.22% in the pre-market, seeing some light sell-off continued, down 0.06. And we've got Google, that one outlier on the day yesterday, up 2.87 and up 1.23% this morning. We've got Meta to wrap it on out, sitting down 0.25% in the pre-market, also seeing that buying pressure up 0.32. Let's hop over to the crypto side of things, because the crypto side of things is extremely green this morning. We've got Hype sitting up 18.2% on that daily. Let's scroll it on down. We've got Bitcoin up 4.2%, Ethereum up 5.6%. We've got XRP up 4%, BNB sitting up 5.2%, Solana up 6.9%, Doge also up 6.9%. We've got Cardano up 7.5%, Tron sitting up 1.9%. We've got SWI up 8.8%. We've got Chainlink up 6.3%. Hyperliquid, taking a lot of spots in that market cap, was sitting down here at about 16, and it's now moved up several spots to number 13 with that 18.1% move towards the upside. We've got Avalanche losing that position to Hyperliquid, up 9.1. Stellar Lumens also losing a position to Hyperliquid, up 5%. Shiba Inu up 6%, HBAR up 4.6%, got Bitcoin Cash taking that spot from Leo Token in the market cap, sitting up 9.3%, as Leo Token remains quite stable, up 0.04%. And we've got Toncoin up 4.7%. Let's hop over to those fear and greeds, because I'm pretty sure we got a decent change on things. We still have the stock market sitting at 66 in greed. You know, we've been seeing nice little pumps, nice little sell-offs. Otherwise, remaining quite stable over there. So not too concerning to see no change there. On the crypto side of things, we are up 2 points sitting in greed. I am waiting for extreme greed to start to get hit as we are seeing Bitcoin making some new all-time highs. And with that, bringing a lot of projects up into the green quite heavily. We'll kind of have to see if we can actually hit that extreme greed before we see a little bit of some sell off, or if we cool down just a bit and then continue on our way up. We do have some liquidity to both sides, just like we did yesterday. We've got some sitting right at the highs. Not too unexpected, you make a new all-time high and people might short it. So I know TradeFly was doing that yesterday after that new all-time high. We've got some liquidity at about $111,000 here on Binance. And then we've also got some sitting to the downside of us at that $108,000, 800, and ranging all the way down to about 108,500. I do have a key support area running just below that range. So definitely looking at that area to see if we can come back down, turn that into some support. Let's take a look at that 3-day, because that's where we sometimes see those explosive moves move to on the liquidity heat map. As you can kind of see, if you zoom this on out to that 3-day there, top side doesn't have a whole lot of liquidity. We do have a nice area down here at about 105, 800, and then another nice hot spot sitting at $104,000. We'll kind of have to see if we make that move towards the upside first, grab that short-term top side liquidity, and then start making our way down, cool off some of these oscillators, let some divergences really play out before we see our next spring up. We do have this 3-month looking quite nice as well. Talked about it the other day, and a lot of that liquidity to the top side has been swept now, and we're just looking at more bottom side liquidity. Let's hop over to that Bitcoin chart. We don't really have much on the economic calendar for today coming out of America. We do have some few Fed shares speaking, and we do have initial jobless claims at 8:30. Totally forgot about that one. We got a pretty bare week otherwise, so we will have that coming out at 8:30. Initial jobless claims looking like a slight increase on that, and we do have S&P Composite PMI flash. Not a massive market mover, but definitely something to keep your eye on. It is on that 2 on importance. We do have existing home sales as well today. That'll be at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So definitely going to be watching for that one. I don't think it moves markets as much as this importance has been given to it, considering that we've been seeing quite a slowdown on the housing market. Scrolling on down, here's our Fed chair speaking this afternoon at 2. We've got another one later in the day as well. We also get inflation rate year over year coming out of Japan. That'll be at 7:30 Eastern time. Another thing to kind of keep your eye on. They are looking at 3.6% prior. I'm thinking they hold quite steady in that range, especially considering they haven't really done anything with the rates, and they haven't been seeing overwhelmingly positive data there. Let's hop over to that Bitcoin chart now and say good morning to the chat. There were several of you in here quite early. We've got username in here saying good morning all, dropping those rib emojis. Drop those rib emojis in the chat if you got them. Got K Diggity in the house. Good morning to you. He said he'll see you all in approximately 30 minutes. He's probably getting his coffee ready for the morning. Got Jesse Gluck in here as always. Good morning to you, sir. We've got Jay Violet. I saw that she's not feeling well. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you get to feeling better quite quickly. We got K Diggity saying, I heard that BTC hit a new all-time high. Is this actual story or fake news? Well, it looks to be real because If you see over here was our old all-time high, sitting at that 109,400. This is an aggregated price, so you might see some of those all-time highs haven't been about $110,000. But as you can see here, we clearly broke above that. We did get a little bit of a rejection off of my golden pocket fib extensions, and looking to at least cool things off a little bit, turn some key areas into some support. Got JR in the chat. Good morning to you, sir. Hope you're having a great morning. He said short everything. I don't know about just yet. We'll kind of have to see. We do have quite a bit of momentum, and money flow is continuing to come on in. We'll kind of have to see what levels we might bump up against in just a second. We got Kyle Fields in here saying, yo. Good morning to you, sir. Got Jesse Gluck saying Ada gang. Let me get Ada on the list for you. We got Ada on that list. We'll take a look at that one here in a second. Let's see. We got Dylan VA in here. Good morning to you. And Caliphant saying good evening. I know it's extra late her time, so good evening to you. And we've got Murphy YT in here. Good morning to you, sir. Hope you're having a great day. Haven't seen you here before. I'm glad you are participating in the chat. We've also got a few lurkers, so good morning to all of you. Oh, I also see Proper Fractal. Good morning. Hope you're having a great day. I see, how is Whiff looking? Let me get that one added to the list. Just to be honest, don't have any previous TA on Whiff, so we'll have to take a look at it from a naked chart and really break it on down, because I'm not a meme person. So let's dive on into this Bitcoin chart, though, because Bitcoin really stole the show. It got that strong move up, made a new all-time high. I was looking at about 108,200 to about 110,000 to kind of be a little bit of a resistance area. Was not resistance at all. We blasted straight through it with very strong money flow, and that's something I was talking to you all about yesterday. If we did see that extremely strong money flow coming in on the short-term time frame that was able to bleed over into the hourly, look for that strong move towards the upside to really grab all of that topside liquidity. And that's exactly what we did. We didn't get any cool off. We just blasted straight to the upside around that around that market open. Started seeing some liquidity stepping in this daily. Still looking like we've got some potential to continue to the upside as money flows coming in. Your MACD getting curvature and your prime oscillator getting curvature towards the upside. Let's zoom this on in, though. Take a look at that 4 hour, and this 4 hour does show the potential need for some cool off here. As you can see, we rejected quite nicely off of this golden pocket area that I'd been watching for. This is on a fib extension pulled from the lows to the high to the lows. I'll zoom that on out for you so you can kind of see where I'm talking about. The lows from our last sideways consolidation range towards our all-time high from here, pulled down to our lows, and we are tapping quite nicely on that golden pocket. We do have the 4 hour looking like it needs to cool off. We were talking about that yesterday, though, so definitely watch that short-term time frame money flow. You might get a nice little attempt at a push back up if we can kind of cool things off just a little bit. We've got your prime oscillator getting some rollover here, your MACD moving quite sideways here in the morning as we're starting to print a light green candle on the histogram. Money flow and volume are looking extremely nice, though, so this is why I'd kind of look for at least some holding up in this range unless we see a drastic switch in that money flow. Everyone's kind of extremely bullish right now. You make a new all-time high, people get bullish, they're late to the entry. You might see a quick sweep back down to the bottom side, grab some liquidity, and then try to sweep that top side liquidity as well. A lot of money on both sides of us on that short-term time frame. zoom it on in, take a look at the hour, and see what we be looking at for the day here. We do have extremely nice money flow, as we've been talking about. We've got that divergence stacked up here on the hourly as well. Peak seeker indicator, and you've got your MACD and your prime oscillator both getting that curvature towards the downside. Your MACD line has not yet broken below our indicator line, so we'll be watching that quite heavily. We do have all of this liquidity that is sitting right here at about 109,500, as we saw earlier. So a nice little area to kind of come down to, cool things off just a little bit. But you do have that prime oscillator getting some more curvature back towards the upside, and that MACD is not breaking that indicator line with some strong strength to the downside. It's doing it kind of sideways. So we will continue to watch this money flow until we start seeing that exhaustion stepping on in. We do have all of these candles being extremely strong to the top side, and you're not seeing any crazy exhaustion wicks on the top of them. So I'm really waiting for that exhaustion to start stepping on in. We do have quite a bit of bullish sentiment. We do have the 15-minute looking like you might see that continued pump towards the upside for the morning. We are trying to make at least a higher high here, as we do see our prime oscillator and our MACD getting that curvature back towards the upside. MACD doing that above our zero line, which is pretty bullish. We will just have to watch to see if this money flow here on the 15-minute can get that continuation on in. We did have that prime oscillator switching from heavy red to light red. Our volume slowed down just a little bit though, but we're in a bit of an in-between trading time. America's not yet awake, and we've got Europe sitting at about their lunchtime. So not a bunch of trading really going on. I'm really waiting to see that money flow starting to come in as America starts waking on up, and see if we can get that nice sweep to the top side, and then see if we can cool things off just a little bit. We do have a lot of liquidity sitting right above this 108,200 mark. This is a nice little area to come down to, grab some liquidity after we clear out the top side liquidity. So definitely going to be watching that for the morning. All right. Any other alt request we had? I know JR dropped a few assets there. We had cake, grass, VVV, and he said short on those. We will pull up VVV because you dropped a few assets there. So we're just going to pick one and leave some room for some other people to put some request in as well. Caliphant saying I'm bullish. Jesse saying I'm always bullish. I'm always long-term bullish, but I'm always waiting for those nice little cool offs to kind of reposition myself. Let's hop over to some news articles for the morning, because we did have quite a bit coming out. The big one I'm going to start with is the Senate unexpectedly passes the No Tax on Tips Act in a unanimous vote. This is quite unexpected. Washington, in a surprise move, the Republican-led Senate quickly passed the No Tax on Tips Act on Tuesday, giving its official stamp of approval to the idea that gained traction since President Donald Trump campaigned on it last year. The legislation would create a tax deduction worth up to $25,000 for tips, limited to cash tips that workers report to employers for withholding purposes on payroll taxes. The tax break would also be restricted to employees who earn $160,000 or less in 2025, an amount that will rise with inflation in the coming years. You know, most of your taxed people, most of your tipped workers are going to be sitting underneath that $160,000 threshold. I know plenty of bartenders that I'm friends with are going to be extremely happy about this, because they get a lot of cash tips. So it's about time that they get a little bit of a break, because, you know, they are sitting quite low on that. bartending's can be a good gig, but there's also those times where you would really need those tips, and you kind of depend on them, and they get taxed quite crazily, especially if that bumps you up above your initial average hourly earnings. So those days that you make really, really good tips and it kind of bumps you up into a new tax bracket, you get hit way harder on that. So some little breathing room for the lower class there. We've got America's latest credit downgrade means what it means for mortgage rates. I know this one hasn't been talked about. I've only seen Tradefly really talk about this, and we didn't get a big move off of it, not to the downside as some people were thinking we might, but they're not they are one of the last people to really downgrade America's credit rating. Moody's is here it is. The downgrade of the U.S. sovereign credit rating on Friday will likely mean higher borrowing costs on mortgages. On Friday, Moody's downgraded its rating for debt held by the United States government one notch to the second highest rung on its 21 level scale of credit worthiness, citing the government's persistent and likely worsening budget deficit. Moody's was the last major credit rating agency to downgrade the U.S. from the highest rating since the S&P following the S&P in 2011 and Fitch in 2023. So they're a little late to the game on that downgrade of the credit rating, but you might see this affect mortgages just a little bit. Definitely something I will be keeping my eye on. We've been watching the housing market get hit over and over again. And my last news article for the day, billionaire Bill Ackman buys $2.8 billion of a surging tech stock. In 1965, the legendary investor Warren Buffett bought control of Berkshire Hathaway. He gradually sold off all the textile businesses and invested heavily in insurance, utilities, and retail. Nearly 2 decades later, a 20-year-old Bill Ackman first heard about Buffett and in his investment group, and something clicked. I was inspired to become an investor, the hedge fund manager recalled. After another 3 decades, Ackman is putting that inspiration into action, planning to build his version of Berkshire Hathaway. On May 5th, Ackman's perishing Square Capital Management announced a $900 million deal to acquire 9 million shares of Howard Hughes Holdings, a company Ackman wants to turn into the modern-day version of Berkshire. We will adopt a similar long-term shareholder-oriented principles to Berkshire, and we intend to hold the stock forever, he said. That principle, buy great businesses and hold them, is showing up elsewhere in his portfolio too. I might be taking a look at this and putting some of my money in that, investing in a Berkshire Hathaway. At the beginning, seems like a good deal because Berkshire Hathaway completely outgained the S&P and their entire existence, and he's done it quite well. So that Warren Buffett strategy does quite well and performs quite well as well. So putting my money where some smart people are putting their money sounds like a good move to me. Let's see. That's what I started waking up to an hour ago, to do a market prep and get it before the other mentors wake up, so that my analysis isn't influenced and I get good entries, often getting up early. That's something I've noticed as well, JR. One of my few nice entry times is about 3 a.m. You can kind of catch if the trend is to the downside. Barring any crazy switches in money flow, you can kind of really catch that at 3 a.m. Let's see, what is this one here? The start of the red candle here would have been about 2 a.m. So a little bit off there, but you enter here at about 3 a.m. You catch this next little lower peak, and if the trend ends up being to the downside, like I potentially think it could be after a little bit of a move up, you caught the whole move for the day. There's another time in the evening you can kind of do that. For me, it's like a right before that Asia market open. You can kind of catch the whole trend for the time that I'm asleep. So something else I've noticed there too. All right, we had a few alt requests. I did want to take a look at gold because I talked about that yesterday. A little pump up towards the 236 and then seeing a rejection towards the downside to kind of cool things off. Pretty much what we got. We got that nice wicking action up towards the 236 there, and then you started seeing some selling pressure coming on in. You do have money flow, which is rolling on over here on the hourly. No, let me get that. There we go. Demonstration tool. You got that money flow rolling over on the hourly, and the volume slowing down quite a lot as well. It does look like it's peaked out at the same time that we hit that 236. This is that 4-hour chart, and it does look like you might need to see a little bit of a cool down. You do have the 382 that was sitting right below us, which was a nice little resistance area that we never really turned into some support. So if you come back down, turn this into some strong support like I was talking about yesterday, after seeing a bit of a cool down, you could see that stronger move towards our resistance line, really flip that into some support there, and then get that stronger move up towards about 3,400 30 to about 3,485. That's where we saw those very equal candle closes here on that 4-hour. Zooming on in, take a look at the hourly, and you can kind of see here hourly money flow starting to roll over, still in the green here. Volume is really slowed up here on gold, so we'll kind of be watching this going into the day, see if we can get that nice cool down to the 382 before a continuation towards the upside. All right, we have been looking at the Dixie as well. I talked about wanting to see that golden pocket hold up. Got that nice move back down towards our golden pocket. Really held that up quite nicely. Seeing if we can get a little bit of a strong push up towards our resistance here at about 100 even. That's where we got nice wicking action, very equal candle body closes. Looking at that to be some potential short-term resistance there. Let me get that line drawn out a little bit thinner so we know it's a short-term time frame. Let me make that one a high-term time frame, because there we go. That is more of a higher-term look. We do have a bit of a resistance area straight to the top side of us at about that 100 even, 100.051 that I kind of look for to bump up against, as we do see our prime oscillator is starting to get that curvature sideways. Your True 7 is pretty close to clipping out with this strong move off of the golden pocket. So we'll kind of have to see if we do some range in action here like we did back at the beginning, the end of April, and pretty much through the whole month of April, kind of consolidate here on the golden pocket and see if we get some positive news for the dollar. All right, we had several alt requests. Go ahead and drop any other requests you might have in the chat. I've got VVV, WIF, and ADA. We will start out with some ADA here. It is at the top of the list there, so very easy to get to. We did talk about wanting to see the golden pocket hold up. We got that nice golden pocket hold up, and then a move back up to 76 cents. Got that nice strong move off of that point. Didn't really mess around too much with this area I was potentially looking at for resistance, which was 79 cents. Got a strong move through that with a little bit of a hold up on a shorter term time frame before we really saw 80 cents all over again and saw that be a little bit of some resistance here. Your 4-hour is looking a little bit toppy on your prime oscillator. You got some overbought signals flashing, but your volume's just starting to really hit that green point here. So definitely looking to see if we can get that nice consolidation here at about 70 79 cents and then push back up to about 82 cents here. This 50% fib on a retracement has been some strong resistance. We have seen a lot of selling pressure stepping on in when we got to the top side of that. Whereas Ada Ace, he can't miss this. He's probably sleeping, sir. It is extra early. He's my time. It is 5 o'clock his time then too. So he's normally sleeping at this time. He will probably catch it later. We got that 1 hour looking quite toppy as well. Prime oscillator switching from green to red. A few reversal signals have really flashed. We're really seeing volume increasing here on the 1 hour as well. So looking to see if we can get a brief little cool off here as we see this being an order block. Come down to that order block, see some money flow coming on in, and get that pushback towards the upside. If not, look back down to 76 cents. If you cannot hold that 79-cent order block zone, you do have 15 minutes and the morning looking quite toppy here as well. Getting that MACD trying to cross to the bottom side of our indicator line and doing it with some strength there. You've got a divergence here on the 15-minute as well with your prime oscillator flipping to the downside with some red. So looking to see if we can at least cool things off just a little bit here on the 15-minute and then get that stronger move towards the upside. If you do see Bitcoin get a little bit of a pump to grab top side liquidity, look towards that 82-cent mark on ADA. All right, we had VVV requested as well. We will hop into that one and then take a look at WIF because I don't think I've done TA on that, at least for the show. So let's see. I'm pretty sure I had VVV here somewhere because I know JR had me looking at it. So where is it? Where is it? I guess not. I could have. Oh, there it is. There we go. Looking at VVV on the Blowfin chart, and it looks like we held up that 236 quite nicely. Zooming on out, and I'll show you my more macro on this. I did pull from the highs down to the lows here. We've done quite a bit of battle in this 236 range, looking to kind of see if we can get that stronger move above the 382, which has been some strong resistance. If we do get above that 382, 50% line is some strong resistance as well. We did get a nice little pump off of that 50% Fibonacci before we really rejected off of our golden pocket to create our bottoming structure. And here we saw that 50% line beat our resistance and then really drop back down and has held up this 236 quite nicely. We have consolidated quite heavily in this range. Zoom this on out, take a look at that daily, and this is where you're starting to see that curvature back to the upside. So really going to have to watch this money flow as both the MACD and your prime oscillator get that curvature back up. Volume has kind of slowed down, so daily volume looking a little bit low here, but your money flow is overwhelmingly buying pressure. So we'll kind of have to see if we can get some volume coming on in here on VVV to really push us back up above the 382, which is about $4.51, and that's a bit of a resistance area for us. Zoom this on in, take a look at the hourly, see what the morning might be bringing our way here. Really zoom this on in because it has consolidated quite nicely here. You are looking at about the midpoint where we've seen most of our price action between the 236 and the 382. So looking to see if we can get some sideways momentum in this zone all over again. See something like this to really cool off your oscillators and then get that strong move back towards the upside. So looking to see what this 15-minute is bringing our way as the 1 hour is looking just a little bit toppy there, but has some extremely nice money flow. Here's that 15-minute looking like it needs a little bit of a cool off, but you might not see too much of a cool off there, as you are seeing quite nice money flow here coming on in. It is getting a little bit of a slowdown on the money flow, but your volume starting to pick up, and this is what I was talking about on that higher term time frame. Watch to see if you get that volume coming on in on your short term time frame that really boost your money flow into your higher term time frame. See that kind of cool things off with some sideways momentum. You do have some resistance areas to the top side of us, about $4.19. Let's get some horizontals drawn out here. $4.19. Whoa, too thick on that line. There we go. Short-term resistance area, and then you've got a little bit of a zone above that as well. $4.36. So a bit of a zone to kind of watch for some resistance to kind of step on in on VVV. You do have some nice support areas to kind of come back down to on the bottom side. I'd look about $3.63 being an area of $3.70 being an area of interest there. You have a lot of consolidations right under that before you really saw price move quite quickly through it. Price moved quite quickly through it again. Price moved quite quickly through it again before we really closed out that fair value gap. So looking to see if that cool down comes that low. If not, you do have a nice little area right above that, being about $3.83 there. So that's kind of your zones to the bottom side and your zones to the top side there. I'm sure JR will be dropping some VVVTA in the Discord. So if you're not a member of the Discord, you're missing out. We do quite a bit over there. Oh, wait, do you call it the dynamic reactor? Let's see, what was that towards? BC, what is the RSI looking indicator you use? Oh, that's down here. This is the Prime Oscillator. It is the Prime Oscillator Pro. It gives you several indicators at once. You've got your volume. That's actually full panel this so you can see it. You've got several indicators built into one. This replaced the RSI that I used to use. You've got your volume sitting down here. You've got your money flow as this middle line here. This is the Prime Oscillator being your replacement for an RSI. You get nice little reversal signals, your overbought signals as well. Instead of kind of watching for your 25 or 30, I used 25 on my RSI to kind of signal overbought. This kind of does all that for you instead of being very static the way an RSI is, where you might start seeing oversold signals really starting to flash before you even come close to your oversold line on your RSI. This kind of aggregates that for you because you might dip quite a bit lower sometimes, and that might really get with outside of that 100 bound, and that's one of the limits of your RSI, is that RSI has that 100 top, the 100 the zero bottom, and it kind of really limits some of that price movement. So this kind of gives you a bit of a broader range here. You might see things going to the top side quite crazily, like this here, 145, where your RSI would have showed oversold for quite a while. So I do like that Prime Oscillator as that replacement for an RSI. All right, we had WIF as well. So let's take a look at WIF. It is not a stock. We're looking at cryptos. There we go. And WIF. Let's see what has the best history on it. We've got Binance. Let's zoom it on out. Take a look at the daily. Looks like it's got some decent history there. Let's take a look at OKX. See what kind of history it has. About the same. Let's see. WIF. Oop. Full screened it. Fat thumbs. All right, Kraken. Let's see. There we go. I knew it was one of those. Kraken got the best history for whiff here. Looks like it didn't come back down to those lows to really grab them. So let's pull our macro fib from lows to high there. Looks like we're doing some battle with our platinum pocket here. Let me lock that so we don't move it. I see Darren does things in here. He says, I'm late, just here for the last bit of the stream. Well, I appreciate you showing up, DDT. Hope you're having a great morning so far. We're seeing some pretty nice price action. So hope you're all prepared for at least some movement in one direction and then another, because we got some bottom side liquidity and some top side liquidity, so we might see a little bit of some manipulation. Let's zoom this on in, take a look at a lower time frame here, see what the hourly is really bringing our way on whiff, because we do see that money flow being quite crazy here. Kind of no different than what we saw on Bitcoin yesterday. This platinum pocket does look like a bit of a resistance area, which whiff has really struggled to get above. So hourly, MACD, and prime oscillator looking a little bit toppy here, as your MACD line is now below our indicator line and getting that curvature to the downside. Prime oscillator also getting that same curvature. Doesn't mean you might not see some sideways consolidation right underneath this platinum pocket before you try to get that pushback towards the upside there. That would also cool off the oscillators the same way as getting a nice little move back down here to kind of retest some of your psychological levels at $1. If you do get that move towards the downside, that dollar area looks quite strong as well. This is where you see another bit of an order block has formed. Let's kind of zoom this on in, take a look at a 15-minute and see what it might be bringing our way. And this is looking also quite toppy here. So you've got your MACD getting that curvature to the downside. You've got some divergences stacked up here as well. Money flow looking like it's on the way out. Volume just starting to kind of pick back up though. So I'd kind of look for a little bit of some sideways momentum like we've been getting since about 6 a.m. yesterday, where we've seen all of this sideways chop below our platinum pocket. Kind of see if that can kind of continue to cool off these oscillators. It looks like you've got very strong support at $1.10 there. That's where you see all of these bouncing off of and trying to push back up towards the platinum pocket there. So kind of looking at this being a bit of a sideways range for today, and then see if we can get that move back up towards our platinum pocket with some higher term time frame oscillators really cooled off there. All right, it is 5:27 and about time to head over towards our morning motivational video. Let me get that screen swapped on over. I didn't see any other alt requests, so we'll just wind it on down. I appreciate every single one of you for showing up, participating in the chat, or lurking in the background. Go ahead, hit that like button if you liked it. Those really help out the channel here. We've also got several other shows here at the Piper Academy. We've got that morning market report with Piper and OC at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Does a great breakdown of the macro. We've got trading with OC at 8 p.m. Eastern time. A great place to really learn some TA, some theories, going from a naked chart to finding what you're looking for resistance, looking for support, looking for on your fibs or things like that. He does a great job at breaking that down so you can do that too, because you can feed a man or you can teach that man to feed himself. And that's what we're all about here on the Piper Academy. We've got Markets After Dark with Lunar Beaches Crypto, another great place to learn TA. That man does Elliott wave theory like a boss. So if you got any questions on that one, go ahead and stay up late and give that man your support and ask him some questions on Elliott wave theory. Other than that, make sure to wake up because today's going to be a good day.